Hello, and welcome to the SASSEE Show. I'm your host, Gail Saunders. Sisters about support, service, encouragement, and engagement. And when it comes to SASSEE, we have a SASSEE sister with us today. I'm talking about the president of the Board of Education for the Reynoldsburg City Schools, Miss Angela Abram. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and welcome to the SASSEE Nation.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here today.
Oh, well, it is our pleasure. And so you are president of the school board now in your second term, is that correct?
So I was nominated by my peers last year, was the first Black president of the school board, and this year they nominated me again.
Wonderful.
So, yes, I'm
wonderful.
in my second year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you said the first Black president of the Reynoldsburg City Schools Board of Education.
That's correct.
Tell me why that is so important and why first still matter, and then talk to us about not only being the first, but bringing others along. So that's a loaded question.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the demographics of Reynoldsburg continues to change. And we have a predominant population of color in our school district. And I think it's important for students to see leadership that looks like them, so that as they aspire to their goals post-secondary life, that they have some examples along the way. So I'm proud to be an example of what can be.
That's wonderful. And you are an entrepreneur, you're a mom, you woman of faith, all of these things. And so can you talk to us about, sometimes you hear about, women, we're super women, we do all the things. Can you talk about what that really means and how we balance all of those?
By no means am I a superwoman. I am a woman. And we just do the work. And I have an incredible spouse who supports me in all my endeavors. I have incredible children who are, by the way, all HBCU graduates as of December 2023.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it is, you can't do everything at once, but there's a place and a time for everything that you want to do as you go about your goals along the way. So I would say just making sure that I wouldn't aspire to be the Board of Education president while I had a newborn.
Understood.
So there's a time and place.
You have to really think about that balance. And I love how you said it. We cannot do all the things at the same time, but we can do the things we can do all things at various times.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, I'm happy that I've been afforded this opportunity now. I don't know that I would have had the maturity or the fortitude to do it at an earlier stage in my life because my priorities were for my family.
And so when you talk about your priorities and now is the time for you to be in this leadership role with the school board, can you talk to us about knowing and understanding the time, when it's your time, when it's my time, when is it time, and how do you know that?
So I find it fortuitous that you would ask about engaging others because others engaged me. And I did not know that I was ready for this position, but someone saw something in me that prompted me to apply for the appointment to the board. And then subsequently, I then ran after I filled that appointment, and then I was elected by my community. So had someone not seen whatever it was they saw in me, I would not have stepped up because I hadn't considered it at all. So it's important to have people around you who can see things about you that you can't see, and to support you and give you enough confidence and security to go after those things. Because when you go after those things and then you realize that this is actually where I belong, and there are so many other people who also belong here. And so now it's my role to go and find those people. I help them identify their strengths and move forward in whatever direction that they are called to serve.
When we talk about SASSEE, it is about sisters supporting one another and encouraging one another and engaging with one another. You said earlier that you wouldn't be able to do what you do without the support and the back end with your husband and your children. And so I do remind people that, yes, SASSEE is all about the sisters, but we know we have other people in our lives who help uplift us. So talk about that role in terms of other people, men, others, helping us along the way.
So everywhere we go, there's a few good men, right? And we have to bring them along. They support us, they lift us. We support them, they lift us. And we lift them. And so I think it's more of almost a circuitous relationship, dynamic, so that we bring the components of love, dedication, parking that ego, in the corner, and just being about lifting each other, because we know, the tide lifts all boats. So if we lift each other, we can really make a change from our homes to our communities.
That is so wonderful. And that from your home to community, you do quite a bit of that in your role as an occupational therapist. And so talk a little bit about that and what you do in that space.
So I'm an occupational therapist, and an occupational therapist is a person who helps people reach independence in whatever area they may be having a difference of atypical performance. So, for example, if I'm working with a student who has difficulty swallowing, then we're working on helping you become as independent as possible so that you can handle certain textures of food. Currently, I'm working in a K through 12 school. So a lot of the children that I work with, we're working on self-regulation, emotional development, handwriting skills, fine motor development. So I'm always working towards helping a person reach their potential, helping families and schools identify the skills that the child has that is doing very well in, but also helping the child progress from where they're having difficulties to helping them be more successful. Ultimately, so that when they graduate or leave occupational therapy, they have the skills they need to be successful in school.
That's wonderful. And so your focus, whether it's the school board or in your occupation, it really is helping to get people to their next best. So hold that thought, because when we return, we're going to continue talking all things SASSEE with the president of the Reynoldsburg Board of Education, Ms. Angela Abram. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School, college first-round draft pick, on and off the field. We were taught to not show any signs of weakness. During the football season, I would stop eating, but I didn't know I was depressed. I thought that something was wrong with me. For 20 plus years was physical. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father, as a man, and as a husband. Put the importance on your mental health. I'm not scared to talk about it anymore. The first tool is therapy. The second one is positive self-talk. And then journaling, putting your thoughts on paper. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Welcome back. Sisters about support, service, encouragement, and engagement. And that's what Angela Abram is all about. So as we were talking earlier, we talked about your work with the school board and your work as an occupational therapist, really helping people get to their next best. My question for you is, how do you find time to do the things that you love to do, the arts, cooking, other things that you like to do? How do you balance that?
I don't sleep a whole lot, but I do sleep. But my day starts early, and it goes, each hour of the day has an allotment. Things are scheduled in, and I do what I need to do. Start my morning with water,
Yes.
prayer,
Yes.
exercise, and that sets the tone for my day.
Yes.
And, weekends, if I'm not involved in community activities or board service work, then I'm spending time with my family. And we're going out and doing things and enjoying what the community has to offer in terms of arts and dance and theater.
So why is it so important for people to, of course, live your passion as it comes to serving others? Why is it important for us to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and our families as well?
Well, you can't pour from an empty well. And so I pour a lot into my family, into my community, into my district, and I can't pour if I'm not full. So I have to take care of myself so that I can be able to give of myself to others.
And that physical fitness is important to you. I know you've run 5Ks, you really stay committed to that. How does that enable you to continue to do the work you do by making sure that prayer, you mentioned that, but that physical fitness part, why is that so essential to you as you continue all of your commitments in community?
Exercise allows so much growth mentally. So it allows you to understand what your capacity is, what your limitations are. Often, if you don't think you can go a little bit longer and then you find that you do, then you realize that maybe your limitation isn't what you thought it was, which allows you to do more. And by doing more, it allows you to serve more.
Yes.
It allows you to do everything at a greater level. The mental support or release
Yes.
that you get from exercise in terms of, the endorphins, in terms of the appetite suppressing, all the components of exercise that impacts you physically and mentally is what I need in order to do what I do.
And I want to stay there for a moment because you said it's what you need. Sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to take care of what we need because we pour it so much into others. Talk to us as a leader, as a mom, as a advocate for women. Why is that servicing what you need so important as we continue to do all the great work that we do for others?
I would say that I haven't always made myself a priority. And as a result, I think that those around me could not get the best of me. And by taking care of myself, I feel that I give better than I gave before. I also try to set a standard or an example for my children so that they can be their best selves and go out and serve in the capacities that, they were called to serve in. And I just feel that if you continue to take care of yourself, you continue to grow and improve, and it allows you to continue to elevate. And when you do that, you can bring others with you and elevate them as well.
Well, you embody sisterhood, support, and you have this innate sense. If you don't mind me sharing just a little bit about an encounter that we had, you have this innate sense to see, I might need to talk to this sister a little bit. Right. And so no matter where it is, in a public place, in the bathroom. And so I just want to say to you, that innate sense it just really empowers other women because you pick up on it and you move with it immediately. Can you talk to us about why that matters in terms of you have that sense and you pour into others, and why pouring into others means so much to you?
I feel that there's a diversity in gifts, right? We're all given certain innate gifts. One of the gifts that I was given was being able to read people. I don't know why, that I can just read them. And I always want to be responsible with my gift. You know, I don't want to look at someone and say someone's not doing well or, you know, what's wrong with that person. I feel like it's better to say, you know, hey, are you doing okay? Is there anything I can do to help you? Because if you do that, it helps that person, but it also helps you, because then I feel like it leaves you more open. And then if someone needs to look at me, maybe someone can read me and say, hey, she needs a lift today. Let me encourage her, you know. I feel like the encouragement and lifting of others is what God has called us to do. And by doing so, I feel like I'm doing the work of why I'm here. It's part of my purpose for being here. My humanity rests in this 50-something Black woman's body. That's what my humanity looks like. But there are others, their humanity looks different, but we still have to connect and make sure that we're connecting human to human. So that's why I do what I do.
Thank you so much for that. And the courage to do it. And so when we come back, I want to talk about courage, sisterhood, and then I'm probably going to ask you to share what your SASSEE story is and what SASSEE means to you.
Okay.
So we'll be right back. We certainly want to make sure that we talk about some of those challenging days that we all encounter and how we get through them. So stay with us. Stay right there. SASSEE will be right back after these messages.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I know you've been grinding. I know things aren't easy. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Love your mind.
Welcome back to the SASSEE Show. We're going to pick up right where we left off as we continue our conversation with Miss Angela Abram, our SASSEE Woman of the Month. And so we were talking about pouring into others. You are exceptionally involved in community activities, the Reynoldsburg Special Olympics, other activities in Reynoldsburg. How do you take what you're doing there, and how does that move into your role and what you're doing in education?
Well, we have the Reynoldsburg Special Olympics, which I, along with 3 other people, revamped. And I also serve on the Reynoldsburg Visitors Bureau Board and the Reynoldsburg Community Association Board. And those all feed back into education because we provide opportunities and activities in our community that our children can participate in. You know, whether we're doing something like the Juneteenth community weekend, And when we do that, we've got a fashion show for our kids. We've got activities, cultural experiences. So it allows us to bring children to our community, see what's happening right there in our community. And it just helps us grow as a community. We learn together. When I was running for office, my motto was forward together. And I feel like the activities that we do in the community help move us forward together, both from an educational standpoint and a cultural standpoint. For example, we'll have Harriet Tubman Day, March 9th. And I'll also be sponsoring a community baby shower May 4th. And so, any opportunity that we can have to bring in our children, our families, to just learn more about the things that are happening in Reynoldsburg, but also to just learn more about various cultures, strong women, anything that we can do to just make sure that everyone is included. I'm a big fan of liberty and justice for all, and all means all. So we just want to make sure that everyone who comes to Reynoldsburg is aware of we include all.
That's wonderful. And when you talk about including all, I hear you talk about the young people and making sure that they're engaged in these activities. Talk about exposure and what exposure means for young people, because it seems that you're bringing them in, exposing them to different things in the community, but also different leadership roles, other roles. Why is that important, particularly as you are leading the Board of Education?
So my work as an occupational therapist is certainly when you're looking at what is my potential, what is my becoming. And when you're looking at that, you recognize that, well, if I don't see it, if I haven't been exposed to it, how do I know that this is something that I could possibly become? So by having the opportunities to explore what's in our community, what types of leadership positions are there, and by having a variety of people in these positions, hopefully some student, some young person will look and go, okay, well, she's doing that. That could be me. Or a young man is seeing, another man in the position and going, he's doing that. Yes. Perhaps I could do that. Or just seeing someone that they respect, regardless of their, gender or whatever that exterior, humanity appearance is. Just by seeing how they're leading, they can think of, oh, I could do this. And then hopefully they'll reach out to that person, yes. Or someone who holds a similar position so that they can find out what does it take to do this. And, being that open, giving person, I'm all about, yes. Sharing, okay, this is what you need to do. Maybe it won't look the same way to you when you do it, but this is how I did it, and I'm happy to share that information with you.
That's wonderful, and that is so important for our youth. It's also important for women, and we're getting back to SASSEE and that sisterhood, that encouragement, and that engagement. And so when you think about those principles of SASSEE, what do they mean to you?
They mean everything. It's everything. Just, you want to inspire. You want to uplift. You want to be able to be steadfast in how you conduct yourself. And being a person, a SASSEE person, I think just allows me to bring women with me, surround myself with women, engage women, lift women, making sure that when we're dealing with our vulnerabilities, because we all have them. Yes, we do. When we're dealing with our insecurities, because we all have them, that there's someone supporting us so that, sometimes you have to be pushed forward as opposed to standing there and having everyone else step back. Yes. So we just want to make sure that we're surrounding each other and being able to push each other forward, because then every time we take one step forward, we're getting further along of furthering the causes that are important to women.
That's so powerful. And I know you're being the first Black president of the school board in Reynoldsburg. I know your commitment, as we mentioned earlier, is to not be the last Black person in a leadership role. And so can you just lean in on that just a little bit and why that's so important?
We certainly want diversity in leadership roles because when you bring diversity in thought.
Yes.
And my lived experiences are not the same as certain people's lived experiences. So when I bring that to the table, I'm bringing, the 8-year-old Angela to the table who had to deal with certain things as an 8-year-old. I'm bringing the preteen, I'm bringing the 15-year-old to the table. And that experience as a young Black girl growing up in poverty, growing up with, some trauma.
Yes.
I bring that to the table. And that doesn't mean that others don't, but I know that narrative is not unique to me. It's a narrative that's many have.
Yes.
And so when I bring that to a leadership position, I'm trying to make sure that voice is heard. So I encourage other women of color to run for office, whether it's school board, whether it's city council, whether it's commissioner, whether it's state rep. I encourage people to run so that you can bring your voice to the table.
Thank you for that. And a saying that I've said before, and you've heard it from others, when women succeed, we all succeed. So I just want to thank you personally for working so hard to make sure that we all move forward, the community and all. And thank you for being with us today on the SASSEE Show. We really do appreciate it. And thank you for being my role model of a sassy woman. And so I will tell you again, Angela is a true sassy woman. If you don't capture all of what she said to us today, you can catch her on the SASSEE YouTube channel. Just look up SASSEE on YouTube and you'll find all of our shows there. Remember, SASSEE is not just about how you look. It's about how you show up for other sisters, your family, your friends, and yourself, as we heard from Angela today. It's about being part of a sisterhood that propels us all forward for the greater good. So until next time, I'm Gail Saunders reminding you to be sassy.